I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. You need to know, you need to know, you need to know. We all need to know. What do you need to know? What do I need to know? What do we all need to know? Today we are going to be looking at the book of Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 18. Deuteronomy 8:18. The hermeneutical interpretation of that Bible verse. We have to know you need to know that when we are talking about hermeneutics, is the art of Bible interpretation. So Bible says in the book of Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "But thou shalt remember thy Lord, thy God, for it is He, it is God, that giveth thee power to get wealth, that He may establish, that God may establish His covenant, not your covenant, His will, not your will, which He sware unto thy fathers as it is this day." So let's break it down hermeneutically. Historical context, we know that Moses is the author, and he wrote the audience, the second generation, that is the second generation of Israel preparing to enter into the promised land, because the first generation already perished, died in the wilderness as they are preparing to enter into the land or the promised land. So he was giving them to remember, to know how God has brought them out of Egypt. So the setting is all about Moses is giving final instruction and warning. He's giving them the instruction and warnings before his death, urging Israel to obey God when they prosper in Canaan. A lot of us, after we have prospered, we forgot about God. We don't even go to church. We don't pray again. We thought it is by our power, it is by our means, it is because it is your certificate. No, but Moses was urging them, giving them instruction not to forget God when they get to the land of Canaan. So what about so Deuteronomy chapter 18 is a reminder of how God sustained them in the wilderness, and a warning not to forget God once they experience prosperity. The way most of us are forgetting God when we are in money, when wealth. A lot of people, when they are sick, they can die in church. But anytime things are okay, they forget about God. So what is the literal context? Deuteronomy chapter 8 emphasized that obedience and humility are key. Obedience and humility are key to lasting blessing. Verse 11 to 17 says, "Warn against the pride of self-sufficiency, forgetting God and thinking that they gain wealth by their own understanding or strength." Verse 18 is now telling them that verse 18 is a corrective reminder. Verse 18 is a corrective reminder. True prosperity comes from God, not from you, not from your knowledge, not from your effort, not from your connection. So what is the key terms and meaning of that Deuteronomy 8:18? Remember thy Lord your God. A command to recognize, that is to honor, and not forget God's rules as a provider. God is your source. Remember your God. So giveth thee power to make wealth. Remember your God that gives you power to make wealth. So giveth thee power to make wealth is that it's all about God gives the ability, God gives the opportunity, and God gives the strength to gain resources, including physical ability, including wisdom, including favor and productivity. So therefore, that He may establish you. So therefore, remember, when you remember God, that is the one that gives you power to make wealth, that God may establish you. A lot of people make wealth, but they are not established. So that God may establish you in His covenant. That is, God's provision is tied to His covenant. Purpose. The purpose why God gave you that money is to support the kingdom, is to support the church, is to support the less privileged, not just to enrich individual, but to fulfill His promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 to 3. So what is the theological significance of this Deuteronomy 8:18? God is the source. We need to know that God is the source of prosperity. It's not demon. The devil have no money to give. The devil have no prosperity to give. It's just a carbon copy. It will just copy what God is doing. God, the devil have no original prosperity. It is God that gives power to make wealth. And how does the power comes? How do you establish it for you not to forget about God when you, because it's a covenant. It gives you money to propagate the gospel. Likewise, the devil will give you money to propagate his own purpose. So the significance, God is the source of prosperity. We are steward, not owner. The money that God gave you, you are just a steward. The prosperity, you are just a steward. Wealth has a covenant purpose. The reason why God gives you that money is His purpose. It is not for selfish gain, but to advance God's will and witnesses. God warns against spiritual amnesia, that is the temptation to forget Him when life goes on. A lot of rich people, wealthy people, they don't even go to church. However, most of them do not even give their money on a legitimate source. So what is the common interpretation? That people are using this interpretation, this verse, they are using it to exploit some people. Therefore, they are misinterpreting the Bible. So prosperity gospel misuse it. Some use this verse to teach that wealth is a guaranteed right for all believers. No, if you don't work, you don't eat. Many of us, we make it so difficult for God to bless us because we are praying instead of working. When you work, you pray. Don't just sit down and be praying and be thinking manna will fall from heaven. No manna will fall from heaven. Therefore, but the verse is not universal prosperity promise. It is a reminder to Israel that their source is God-dependent and tied to covenant. You see, it's not a universal promise that if you don't work, God will give you power to make wealth. No, it's not a universal promise. It is just a reminder that, oh, when somebody is misbehaving, you have to let him or her know that it is God that gives you power to make wealth. Just to remind them. It's not that a blank check that if you don't work, you will make wealth. So what about, how do you now interpret it in today's, the right application today? Believers should give God credit for every blessing. Believers should give God credit in every blessing that is coming to your way and use their resources to honor God. Use your resources to honor God. How do you honor God with your resources? It says, when I'm sick, you came to visit me. I don't have clothes, you give me. Help the less privileged. Support the gospel. You may not be able to go for evangelism. Support people that are going for evangelism. So prosperity should lead to gratitude and covenant faithfulness. That is, not pride or independence. It challenges us to remember God in both lack and abundance and to use wealth for godly purpose. Because Moses was telling them that when you get to that place that you are going, remember that you don't work. Everything that you need is already there. Because God said, I'm going to chase all those people away. All those people that are living there. So you'll be able to know and enjoy the wealth. So now, when you get to that place, when you get to that city, when you get to that Canaan land, when you get to that land, and everything that you are now enjoying, you have to know that God is the one that gives you power. God is the one that gives you the privilege to make wealth. It's not what people are saying that it's a universal prosperity promise. No, it's not a universal prosperity promise. A lot of people are misquoting that place. Deuteronomy 8. Before anything, remember your God that gives you power to make wealth. No, you have to work. Bible says, I will bless your handwork. But God is not telling people, He's telling you and I that, remember, I'm the one that make way for you to be where you are. So remember your God when you are up there so that you will not fall down. God bless you. God be with you. Until tomorrow we come with another Bible verse and say shalom, shalom, and shalom.